Hey, this is Kat of Kattalestv, and a lot of things are going on, but I'm going to talk about one of the major problems LA has right now is that we have a very poor acting mayor. And I say acting mayor because he is, I believe, a member of the Screen Actors Guild, and he acts like a mayor. He does a lot of photo ops, but actually doing the real work, it seems to be lagging recently. In case you haven't heard, the current mayor of Los Angeles is Mayor Eric Garcetti, and he is slated to be picked by Joe Biden for an ambassadorship to India. And if he is actually nominated publicly, that means he has to be accepted by the Republicans as well as the Democrats. He has to go through, a hearing. And anybody who has half a brain would say, what were you doing in Los Angeles? We have a rampant homeless epidemic that has blown my mind. I left in 2018 to shoot New York, and I came back, and then I went back to New York, and then I came back. And the influx of homelessness and mental illness and dirtiness in the city and the lawlessness has skyrocketed. It's disgusting, it's depressing, and it needs to stop. We need real leadership. We don't need someone pretending to be a mayor. We need someone who actually walks the streets, knows what's going on, talks to the people, talks to the businesses, talks to the firemen, talks to the police. And I'm going to tell you something. Over the last months, especially since I got back here from the East Coast, I've talked to so many people, so many police officers that just feel like, they can't do anything. And in reference to the homeless situation, and even firemen who've told me that it's so dangerous health-wise because you have people living in the street, no place to wash their hands, take a shower, and they're living in feces, and that's how you get typhoid fever. A lot of old diseases that happen in other centuries are coming back because, think about it, by the way, like the Black Plague. Back then in London and stuff, they didn't have toilets and plumbing systems. So people literally would just throw their excrement and their urine out the window into the street. So people were walking in it, whatever. And you can only imagine the smell. So fast forward 2021, you have all these thousands, tens of thousands of homeless people living in the street. I actually photographed a woman shooting up on a street in downtown LA, broad daylight, around 10:30, 11 o'clock. Didn't even see me. And she... Now, you have to understand something. I'm not a hard ass. I think people should have a place to live. I don't think it's appropriate for them to be on the street. And I don't think it's appropriate for them to take over the sidewalks, and I don't think they should be able to influence businesses. The businesses have the right to work and the right to make money. That's capitalism, that's what we're in. But also the level of drug addiction and the lack of safety and the lack of hygiene, that affects the whole city. I mean, we could have another pandemic of another disease in Los Angeles because the damn place is so dirty. And I've always been not a fan of Garcetti because I'll tell you, when I used to shoot the star ceremonies on Hollywood Boulevard, the ones where the stars, they get the stars, Garcetti was always there. Always used to go there all the time to make sure he got the photo op. I know a lot about PR, trust me. I've been doing it for over 10 years. So I just thought he was a camera whore. A very astute camera whore. Looks good on camera. But what does he do? And a couple of, I don't know, I think it was I get confused with last year because it was such a crazy year. But I don't know if it was last year or it was, well, what's the year that the election happened against Biden and Trump? But what happened was I actually interviewed Garcetti outside of the W Hotel where Biden was speaking, and I believe it was that fireman's event. But I believe that was either before the election or right after. I'm not really sure, but I think it was before the election. But in that moment, I asked Garcetti, and I think this is before the COVID pandemic hit the fan. I asked Garcetti what he was going to do about the homelessness in LA, and I'll show you that clip right now. The other question is, what are you going to do about the homeless?
What are we doing? We got
and affordable housing.
2,000 new beds opening by July 1st.
Uh-huh.
A shelter and another 1,300 apartments just this year alone. So all that HHH money is coming on board this year. We've had probably 6 openings already in the first 2 months.
But what about people who are working hard trying to find a place to stay that's affordable
So now,
and safe and clean?
Building another 100,000 units of overall housing for everybody else. But we also have an assistance program now. If you're on the verge of homelessness, we give you 2 or 3 months assistance of rent and other stuff to make sure you don't become homeless. And that's through our family source centers in the city. First time we've ever had the program, already runaways.
Do you have to have a family or can you be single?
You can be single as well. It's just at the family source centers, but you can be single.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
In regards to the city, a great city like Los Angeles that has so much potential and has so much power in the entertainment industry and also in so many different ways, we should be at the forefront of having places for people to be able to go and get help. There are people that have clinics. The Saban Clinic is a nonprofit that helps people. There's other clinics around, but we need places that take care of mentally ill and severe drug addicts, and they need to be taken off the street. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I want someone who stops bullshitting and talks the truth, because it's so dangerous on so many levels. We need to demystify mental health care. We need to talk about mental issues, and we need to have facilities where people go and also stay. And we used to have that, and everyone brings back what was his name, Ronald Reagan, and says, well, he canceled it, but that was so long ago. It's 2021. We need to do something now. We're better than this. I'm so tired of seeing people on the street. I'm so tired of being afraid. I'm always on guard anyway, but it's so dangerous walking around where you stay. You might have crazy people where you stay. People are under a lot of stress because of COVID and then trying to go back to work or whatever they're doing. There's just so much going on. And the fact that Eric Garcetti decides to leave now shows the quality of a person that he is not, if that makes sense. I do not like Garcetti. I know he was linked into Hollywood really tight, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I don't really give a fuck, because LA is special. It's not New York, it's different. And New York has its own problems, trust me, been there. But LA shouldn't have tens of thousands of people littering the street like dirt. And having rats and feces and needles everywhere, from the post office, on the floor of the post office, to on the street, and just being dirty. People need to be able to take showers. People need to be able to wash their hands. You know, some of these people have never worn face masks. They can't, their brain doesn't even comprehend that. And the smells on the bus, if you take the bus, you take public transportation like I do, and also if you take the metro, which I do on occasion, it's turned into something that's just horrid because people are sleeping on the train. They weren't wearing masks during COVID. You got to imagine if they're filthy and they're sitting in feces and stuff, they're sitting on the buses and they're sitting on the metro, and then you're sitting in it. So literally, when I normally take a bus, when I get back, I take a shower because I don't want to, I feel so dirty. But again, it's not just about me, it's about the city. And the buses should run on time, and they should be cleaned consistently, and they shouldn't allow people that have extreme body odor and are extremely mentally ill on the buses until we have places for them to go. I'm sorry, you may not like what I'm saying, but ride the buses, ride the metro, and see what it's like. But there's people that make this great city move. They deserve to get it to work on time without being harassed, without having to listen to someone scream, without them harassing the bus drivers. It's just like a lot of people are acting out because they have no home, they have no place to go, they have no facilities to get help. And again, there are places that are doing great work, and I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about we need facilities to take care of extremely mentally ill people. The other thing I want to close on is this marijuana thing that's happening where you can't go anywhere without people smoking. Again, I'm open-minded, but I don't always want to smell marijuana everywhere I go. The also thing that I've noticed that some people with the COVID-19, they've used the COVID-19 to drink, to overtly drink. There's new levels of alcoholisms that we don't even know about yet, that we're going to find out. There was more people getting beat up at home, more alcoholics made, more victims of abuse happening because of being locked in the house and not knowing how to deal with the stress of that and not having any place to go and to talk. So many important jobs were not done because of COVID took over. It's extremely, a psycho would love COVID-19 because they could manipulate the situation to their advantage. But a person that cares about other human beings would not be happy what we experienced and what we saw during this COVID-19 crisis. I've seen alcohol in Target promoted like I've never seen before, and they kept having discounts on booze, and even at the Ralph's in Westwood, they had little bottles, those little, like, I call them the alcoholic bottles that they buy to sneak, drink. They had those in the front, where you check out. And it was like telling people cope with alcohol, cope with drugs. And that's not great. That's not a good way to deal with stuff. You eventually have to deal with the real root of the problem instead of just creating more alcoholics. But it's always about capitalism, isn't it? So, again, I'm totally against Eric Garcetti having any public office anymore. If he couldn't take care of LA, he sure the hell shouldn't be taking care of representing America as an ambassador to India. This is Kat from Kattalestv, and that's my cat paw. Thank you for watching, and check out my other videos. Please subscribe if you like, and look at the other links. I have lots of links down below. But thanks. And also, if you want to help LA, if you live in LA, write the city council and tell them what you think about Eric Garcetti and what's happening with the homeless situation and the other issues that are important to you. But right now, well, let me just finish this thing about the marijuana. I've asked several people in police, as well as I've talked to different people in different fields, and we wonder if there is a different strain in the marijuana, especially the smoking it. The one person told me there's a different smell. It's more chemical, and that the marijuana is more, potent. So you're seeing a lot of, like, I want to say psychosis or more anger happening in people. I hope that there's more investigation in this claim, because it's something that I've noticed. I've seen people, like, get violent where, over a course of months, but they smoked heavily every day. So I think there's something in the weed. Some of these people, also, they have underlying conditions, and I think marijuana is no problem, but I think there needs to be tests on the marijuana to find out if it's really real marijuana or if they put some other shit in it. Nothing surprises me in this realm that we're living in, but I'm really frustrated because, again, people think they can get away with anything during this COVID thing because the city, the people that work for the city weren't really doing their job. They weren't there, and they were remotely working, and the services weren't there. So a lot of people are just running around trying to do the best they can, but now is now. What can we do now to make LA better? What can you do to make your city or your town better? But instead of just complaining, I want something done. But also, one of the most important thing I forgot to say, which is blaring, safe places to live that are affordable. Why is that impossible in LA? Why is the mayor totally bullshitted his way out of answering that question and actually doing something about it? Because whether you stay in apartment complexes, hotels, hostels, you're seeing an increase of, or houses, you're seeing an increase of unstable people who are more violent, affecting everything, and them being let go because COVID-19 and the court system being backed up. There's so many excuses going on right now. But again, it's been a perfect time for lawlessness. But let's stop this. This is not about being a Democrat or a Republican. This is about what's right and what's best for this city. Los Angeles needs a mayor that actually cares and actually lives here, walks the beat like a cop, talks to the business owners, talks to the people, rides the bus, rides the metro, knows what's going on, and quit bullshitting. The buses run late. A lot of the lines that need to be, like, with the biggest, longest buses, they have small buses running on to Santa Monica, which is like Santa Monica going from like downtown to Santa Monica normally is a very popular bus ride. So when they have the smaller buses going there, it's normally packed, and it also has a lot of homeless people who do not like to wear a mask, and you have other people who are not even homeless that have attitude and don't want to wear a mask. So you've got a bunch of people on a bus going a long distance in tight quarters, which is a great petri dish for coronavirus or some other disease. So it's just like everyone's playing stupid, and it's not cute anymore. So that's, again, I went on, but that's what I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment down below. Bye.